All right. Says we're live. You guys can hear me. Please let me know. We'll get this started. Sorry for making y'all waiting. I know it's Father's Day, so I'm not sure how big the stream will be today. So no, I'm sure a lot of you are probably busy, but for those of you that are here, appreciate you hanging out with me for the Mexican road course today. I thought the Xfinity race was a good one. I enjoyed it. Daniel Suarez winning was honestly pretty awesome for that. I realized the contenders took themselves out, but he was still running top 5 and he was just there and took advantage of it. And yeah, very cool for Daniel Suarez. We'll see if he can go back to back today. I say most likely not. Definitely tougher competition, but either way, hopefully it's a good one. Road courses tend to be pretty fun for me for DFS purposes. They're usually kind of boring, but I do think this track layout will at least be somewhat of an entertaining race. I got my loud and clear. What's up, Andre? What's up, Astro? What's up, PJ? Appreciate y'all. All right. Let me make sure I get everything set up here. All right. We are good to go. But yeah, I think this slate is fun. Obviously, there's a lot of chalk, but there's quite a few ways I think we can get a bit different. I'm not talking playing guys that are going to be 1-2% owned. Typically, a NASCAR that isn't there's such a small field, it's hard to get that. But I do think some of these plays that are pivots off the chalk, they're not going to have quite the ownership. We're going to make some pretty intriguing GPP plays at the very least. I did my MME builds already. I believe FanDuel locks at 3. DraftKings is going to lock roughly around 320. But still to do my still to do the hand builds after. But I got a couple donuts here. Go over those first. Appreciate you. See Jen as always. Says I'm thinking of locking one Dom and the rest PD plays. Is it too risky to play more than one Dom? And who would they be? I think it depends. So if you are playing SVG, I don't think it makes a ton of sense to play another Dom. I mean, at his price point, whether it be on DraftKings or FanDuel, you just basically need him to be the Dom. You need him to win the race. If anybody else is leading laps, that kind of just directly goes against your lineup. I can understand maybe going SVG and Ty Gibbs because of Ty Gibbs' price point, but for example, I would not play Kyle Larson with SVG. It just doesn't make too much sense. But other than that, I mean, the rest of the guys up front are pretty cheap, but like I said, it kind of goes against each other if you're going to roster multiple Doms if you already have, say, a guy like SVG. I do not mind rostering guys like Ty Gibbs, Ross Chastain together at those price points. I think they're way too cheap today. Well, Ross more so on FanDuel. I still think he's cheapish on DraftKings, but on FanDuel, it's just so easy to load up on Ty Gibbs and Ross Chastain. That's exactly what I did. They're two of I believe my top 4 highest owned drivers. Ty Gibbs and Ross Chastain are in that list on FanDuel, of course, with Christopher Bell. And then I believe also William Byron in that top 4. So I don't go too heavy on the Doms today, but the cheaper ones, I mean, yeah, it's fine, but especially for SVG is like the Dom today. Everybody else I don't really have as a Dom. I have him not leading quite half the laps because it has to get spread out a little bit, and obviously he's going to have to come down pit road eventually, and things are going to shuffle around. But I mean, SVG I think is everyone's perceived Dom / race winner for sure. Appreciate the dono, Jay Swain. What drivers are you showing positive leverage on? Thanks as always. Yeah, some of the guys, and they're not going to be like unowned drivers by any means, but some of the guys that are popping quite a bit for the GPP streets are going to be Ross Chastain, whether that be DraftKings or FanDuel. He's popping quite a bit. Ty Gibbs as well. Ryan Blaney, another driver that's showing some positive leverage at that price point. I forget what I kind of said about him on the preview video. I feel like I was probably just like, he's cheap, he's okay, some PD, but he's actually popping up quite a bit. In DraftKings and FanDuel, I mean, he is just dirt cheap. I realize he's not the most polished road course racer in the world, but he's also a guy that consistently finishes top 15, top 20, so I don't really know why he's this cheap. I mean, $7,200 for Ryan Blaney after how fast that team has been this year seems a bit insane to me. Chase Elliott also shows some positive leverage, and he's going to be pretty chalky, but SVG, it feels weird because he's a pole sitter at a road course, but based off of practice and everything, SVG looks like the man to beat, and he actually is showing more positive leverage than Christopher Bell. Bell's showing actually some negative leverage. Not saying he's not the best play on the slate. On FanDuel, pure money, but on DraftKings, might be a little bit overowned. Like I'm talking, he might be in the 50s for ownership today. That's a lot. What's up, Johnny T? Again, your message is hidden, but I saw it earlier. I think, of course, it's always going to be about FanDuel cash. Whether it's DraftKings or FanDuel today, you're going to have the same build for cash games, at least from the start. I think you have to prioritize Christopher Bell number 1, no matter what. He's a great road course racer. Qualifying was weird. It got rained out at the end, So I believe a few of these guys ended up getting screwed over. Christopher Bell, he's in the back of the pack. You just have to play him in cash games. William Byron, another guy. So I would actually prioritize Christopher Bell and William Byron over SVG in cash games if you can only afford 2 of those 3. Then after that, I'm just going for the cheaper place differential. I like Alex Bowman a lot in cash games. I like Carson Hocevar. I kind of lean more towards tournaments for him, but I still think he's a fine cash play. And that's kind of just the starting point for me, whether it be on DK or FanDuel. Got a big dono here from Clint. Appreciate that, sir. It's happy race day and Father's Day to those who celebrate. Shout out to the best Discord in the world. Chris, what kind of mini-max strategy you have for me today? Hit the like button. Appreciate you, Clint. That is awesome, as always, and I do appreciate it. So the strategy I'd have for mini-max, which what I did in my mini-max, is, like I said, I kind of went overweight on those cheaper drivers starting up front. I'm kind of even with SVG, but I like Ty Gibbs a lot. I like Ross Chastain. I think both those guys have race-winning potential. I'm overweight on Ryan Blaney, Carson Hocevar in tournaments, and also Chase Elliott, someone I'm getting to quite a bit. When I don't have William Byron, when I don't have Christopher Bell, getting to a lot of Chase Elliott in those builds. Of course, Bell chalk is fantastic. Of course, Alex Bowman chalk looks great. And I don't really like a lot of the punts today. I think the builds that are more so balanced feel a little bit better. That's why I'm kind of leaning towards, like, I know people are going to try to go with SVG, Bell, and William Byron in the same lineup because it's not that hard to do. But you're going to have to start dipping into this range down here, and it just looks very uninspiring. Like, sure, if there's chaos, Stenhouse can gain spots, Gregson can gain spots, but I don't really like this range too much. So I've been kind of going more balanced on DraftKings with Keselowski being your cheapest driver, potentially. I think those builds look a bit better. So hopefully that helps, and appreciate it. Once again, hopefully MLB goes fantastic again as well. What's up, Daniel? Top 5 drivers to win the race. Let's take a peek over at that. So I have SVG, of course, being the winner. It looks like my it's bothering me. So I have SVG as the winner, but if you're betting him at those odds, I think it's kind of insane. Plus 230 to win a cup race. I think I saw him at plus 200 on DraftKings this morning. I mean, yeah, I think he wins, but I don't think he's going to win the amount of times. Like, he has to win 30% of the time for that to make sense to you. I don't think, for me, that doesn't make sense. I have Chastain next, Larson, Gibbs, Elliott, Bell. Priest also. Big rise in the rankings over the weekend. I wasn't really expecting that. I think it's just mainly due to how he qualified. And, of course, the odds in the books do like him quite a bit. But, yeah, it's my top 5. It's a road course. I mean, anything can happen. I never really feel too confident in it, but I mean, SVG practice basically, so no real concerns there. Hello, Mom. Good luck, NASCAR fam. Want to wish all the fathers a happy Father's Day, and also soon fathers to be. And let's go Logano. Yeah, I'm not huge on Logano, but I can agree. Happy Father's Day to everyone out there that it applies to. But appreciate you being here, Mom. What's up, Anthony? What's up, Dimes? Yeah, no problem. Let's see. DK Cash, you have Bell, Byron, Bowman locked in. What's the best way to finish it out? Gregson, Keselowski, Chastain? Or is SVG a must? I don't think SVG is an absolute must. Like I said, I think he probably wins this race. But at the same time, when you're a pole sitter, especially at his price point, he basically has to win or lead half the race and finish third. It's a very, I don't want to say it's like super tough because we expect him to win, but like on FanDuel, at $14,000, when Dom points mean nothing. There's 10 Dom points on FanDuel today, besides just completing a lap, and SVG basically has to win. Like, if you're playing SVG on FanDuel, that means you think he wins. So I do think he might be a little bit over-owned over there, but I don't think SVG is an absolute must. I think he'll score well. I have him projected, I believe, as the second or third highest driver, projection-wise, but the floor is certainly lower than guys like Byron and SVG, or Byron and Christopher Bell. The other guys I would definitely think you need in cash games over their Dimes is either Keselowski as a cheap option, just because I like that price point. I don't think he's the best road course racer, but as far as cheap plays goes, I like him. I also really like Carson Hocevar. But I don't think there's a ton of standout cash plays besides Bowman, Byron, and Bell. Because I know there's a very popular lineup. If you go the SVG, Bell, and Byron route, you can play, I believe it's Bowman in the middle. And then you have to play like Noah Gregson and like Stenhouse, which is okay. It just doesn't feel amazing. What's up, Team Penske? Who do I think will finish better between Gibbs or Elliott? I believe I have Gibbs slightly higher. Yeah, I mean, it's a position, so they're neck and neck. It would depend on the odds, of course, because I'm assuming that's like a betting question, or maybe it's not. And can I name one driver you think will stay out both stages and score good stage points for fantasy NASCAR reasons? That's always a tough one, trying to nail these guys that try just to go for stage points, because sometimes they throw you a wrench and it's someone you don't expect. I think Ryan Preece could be a candidate for that. He's going to have a good track position to start this race, and we don't really view him as much of a road course ringer by any means. So I could see him maybe staying out, taking that stage win, then he's going to bury himself in the pack, which makes things a little bit difficult for DFS purposes, of course. But I could see Preece doing that. Other than that, maybe Kyle Busch, maybe a Busher. I don't know. I feel like Preece is a decent candidate for it, though. I don't think we have to worry about that for guys like SVG, of course, AJ Allmendinger. Maybe. But not for SVG. SVG is going for the race win today. That's the only reason he's employed by track houses to win these road courses. What's up, Spread? What's up, Jason? Happy Father's Day and race day? Agree. What's up, CJ? Aloha to you all the way from Hawaii. Thank you for dropping in. How do you get the free trial? Just hit the link there. And if you have not signed up on Patreon before, for me, you can get a free trial. If you already have, unfortunately, you cannot do that. What's up, Rick? Will the Daniel Suarez narrative be in play today, or should we fade him? I mean, I think he might have used the narrative up yesterday. That was pretty awesome. It's just, he's okay. I mean, starting in 10th at $8,600, I don't really expect him to top 3 of the race. Is it possible? Sure, I'm sure maybe he's got some extra juice for this race from Trackhouse, but I don't really love him for DFS purposes today for where he's starting in 10th. I think projections, I have him finishing 12th, which I believe is, if you look at the ranking, it's pretty much 10th. So I just think he kind of runs where he starts, which isn't super appealing in DFS. What's up, Kelsey? William Byron, Hendrick Motorsports. Best play on FanDuel. Oh, I thought that was the same person. Green case back to back. But yeah, I like Byron today, but I'm not sure what you were asking for that one. Hello, Astro. Nice to see you. As always, you and CJ. Best plays on FanDuel. It's going to be the same as DraftKings. When it's a road course, they basically overlap because those hybrid plays are usually just pure money at the road courses because we don't care about the dominator points as much. So Bell, Byron, Bowman, all fantastic plays. But I do think Ty Gibbs and Chastain get a big bump on FanDuel. Not saying I don't like them on DraftKings, but on FanDuel, I think they can just kind of hang around the top 5 all day at $8,500 and at $7,500. That is very appealing to me. How much SVG is too much for a 20 max? I'm probably not going. I'd probably be in that 35 to 45 range. If you like them, of course. My Sims kind of like them around 40%. That's on DraftKings, though, because I think he's going to get a decent amount of dominator points. Yeah, happy Father's Day to all the DFS dads. I agree. What's up, Josh? Happy race day. What percentage do you think your highest owned player will be today in 150 and 20 max? So for me on FanDuel, I'm at 68% Christopher Bell, and it's about the same in my 20 max. I mean, Bell's kind of an anomaly over there. But it's the highest I went. Other than that, I'm not above, I don't believe, 45. People like for DK Cash, just the big 3 here, Bell, Byron, Bowman. Those are the killer bees. That's what I like in cash to start with, at least. Yeah, Astro, it's just like, I think it resets each time. Just whoever talks the most in chat that day. Best value to win, thanks as always. Yeah, Bob, I'm going to be honest. I don't see any value to win today. I bet the only thing I bet this week was Christopher Bell plus 900 right before qualifying because I loved what I saw from him in practice, and that number was showing a bit of value. I had him fair around 700-ish. Then he ends up just qualifying 31st. So that was great. But that's all I have. 0.4 units on Bell at plus 900. Of course, don't bet that number now. But yeah, I'm not betting this race. I think it could probably get stupid at some point. I'm sure there's going to be some weird strategy. And then we're going to have, I don't know, Joey Logano win at the very end for some reason. So I don't really want to bet on this race. I am embracing the chaos for DFS, where I'll just, have a good mix of these place differential plays, mid-pack guys, potentially shuffle to the front. But betting-wise, I don't really like this race for it. What's up, Hunter? Verstappen or Russell? That's one good way to get blocked quick. No, not really, but yeah, I heard F1 is during NASCAR today, so bad time in there. What's up, Fanatic? Oh, just saw the dono, Sam. Apologize. New to NASCAR, but never heard of this SVG guy. So he used to do some racing series, obviously not in the States, but he is amazing at road courses. His first NASCAR Cup race, ended up winning at Chicago, which was a street course. And yeah, I mean, the guy's just really good at road courses, and this style suits him well. If you continue watching NASCAR, and we're at an oval, you're going to see SVG priced in like the 5 and 6K range because he's just not really that good at them. But he's a bit of a machine at these. Let's do it, Steven. What's up, G Money? What's up, Andy? Seth says, Chris, is C-Bell still a good pick? For DFS purposes, yes. I mean, Bell's on paper the best play today. For sure. What's up, Obi? Happy fun day to you as well. Hopefully all is doing well. Ryan says, thoughts on my core of Bell, Briscoe, Custer, and Busher for single entry DraftKings tourney at either Byron and Blaney or Elliott and McDowell. I mean, I gotta be honest, I'm not like in love with Custer today by any means. I wouldn't call him a core piece. I have no issues with the other guys. But between that 2v2 there, I like the Byron and Blaney route. Number 42, Viable PD. What's his price tag again? Yeah, 5,200. I mean, yeah, it's okay. None of these guys in the back are going to get there on speed. It's just going to be random. I say this every week, but all these guys are running the same speed, so it all just depends on the random shuffle at the end or how the pit stop goes at the end. That's all it is. Or avoiding the wreck that could potentially happen. That's all it comes down to. So if $5,200 is your last piece fit and you love everything else in your lineup, go for it. Simple as that. Like Xfinity yesterday, it was pretty calm. And then we had the parking lot wreck. And I mean, whoever just avoided that, congrats. You're in the optimal if you're cheap. That's all it takes. What's up, Josh? DK Cash thoughts, Bell, Byron, Busher, Bowman, Bubba, and Brad. The killer bees, man. That is all bees, isn't it? I mean, I don't really have any issues with it. Bubba is always a little bit scary on road courses for a cash game. Trying to see if there's anybody else in that price range I would play. I don't know how much money you have left. I mean, maybe if you can move Bubba to Blaney, I feel good about that. But I like everybody else. I mean, I have no issues with it. And if Bubba's just the last piece there, it's like, whatever. It's fine. But if you do have the money for Blaney, I think I'd sacrifice the 7 extra PD spots. But don't kill your lineup over it. XXXXX and a lot of more X's says, with rain in the forecast, what would you change in your builds? More PD plays or more guys up front? I'll be honest, if I told you, I'd be lying. We don't have enough rain data, I think, to make an informed decision. Of course, rain could make things more sloppy, so that could be somewhat of a encouragement towards the place differential plays. But I'm already kind of building that way anyway. But I don't really think there's enough rain data out there to make a great decision. The only thing I remember once, I think it was raining, and then Austin Cindric turned into a boulder on the track and just dropped so quick, I think. But I also want to say he was on dry tires and everyone else was on wet, and he was dying out there. I don't know. But either way, I feel like maybe the dirt guys always get a bit of a bump there, but with this being a road course, it's like, I don't know. I have no idea. I guess maybe just more of a bump to the place differential. And SVG, I guess. Was that Rashawn? Bowman, Gibbs, McDowell, Priest, Reddick. I think it's a little too front heavy. I mean, I like Gibbs, but adding McDowell and Priest there, I would keep 2 of them, and I would lean towards Gibbs and McDowell personally for me. But I think having 3 of those guys inside the top 5 might be a bit much. What's up, Snips on Twitch? Any recommendations for player props? Do you mean like for prize picks or underdog? I don't really cover that personally. And I think the betting board's trash, as you can see. Just based off of DraftKings odds, there is not one positive leverage there. That's just straight garbage. So I am not betting this race. I am only doing DFS because odds suck today. It's Mexico. We don't know how this is going to play out. We've never raced here in the Cup Series. So I think betting is probably a poor decision. Exius said, Reddick's practice lap times get any better. I know he hated his car. If we want to look at practice, we can do that. All right, so I combine the practices on here. So here's Tyler Reddick. We'll try to... I mean, it wasn't that great compared to everybody else. Scrolling through. I mean, typically we expect Tyler Reddick to be just much better at these road courses, and that just was not the case. We're looking at his overall lap by lap average. I believe he's pretty far down. I'm not saying he can't be all right. Like, for where starting in 22nd, I have him in my builds. Like on FanDuel, I believe I have 25% still, just because he's starting 22nd. It's Reddick at a road course. Like, I don't think he's going to be just pure garbage. But the lap times were a little concerning. I mean, he's pretty far off. Like, SVG's average was a 94.8. Reddick was all the way down at 95.7. It's not like it's like 5 seconds off or anything, but it's still pretty far out. So it was pretty uninspiring. I mean, for where he's starting in 22nd, I still have some, but he's definitely below the Bell and Byron as far as the PD plays. And I do have more Chase Elliott personally than Tyler Reddick. Is Truex chalk today? I hope so. I don't really like Truex. I know he's in the 11 car and he's starting 36. Last I looked, he was not on the FanDuel pool, so I just threw in a random number because I need salaries for all my guys so they can run simulations based on how I have my stuff. But at $6,400, he was terrible, really, just to put it lightly. If you're looking at practice, he was only faster than Catherine. And he just horrible across the board. So I don't know why anyone would be in love with it. I mean, sure, if there's chaos, he can maybe pass a few drivers because he's going to be slow and won't be in the carnage, but I don't really see anything that makes me want to play Ryan Truex. If you're looking at the consecutive lap averages, he was 36 and 33rd, and once again, only faster than Catherine. So I see no reason why you would really want to play Ryan Truex besides him just being in the 11 car. But even then, Denny's not that great at road courses. So yeah, I hope he's chalk, but I won't be a part of it. Jet says, Logano always wins in a new track. Is he pulling off a miracle today? God, I hope not either. Hope not either. I'm not really playing him in DFS, and I have no other interest there. So, yeah, here's the hope and Logano keeps, or breaks the trend, I should say. But yeah, he always does. Always does, for whatever reason. Gibbs or Blaney, last spot on FanDuel. I'm having that same question with myself. So projection-wise, I have Ty Gibbs at 40.08 and Blaney at 37.4. The floor is pretty similar. Blaney has a slightly higher ceiling. Projection-wise, the answer is Gibbs, but it's really tough to do starting in 4th. But I do think he should be pretty good today. I believe he's 3rd in odds. Currently, let me pull up the sportsbook. Okay, he was 3rd. It looks like Larson passed him just based off the odd shift. So we have SVG at the very top, Ross in 2nd, Larson in 3rd, and then Ty Gibbs in 4th. If Ty Gibbs finished 4th today, whatever site you were on, you're going to be very happy with that result. I think currently in my FanDuel single entry build, I am going to go with Ty Gibbs. Just trying to figure out the other one. Suarez or Busher? Let's get this money. Appreciate you every Sunday. I appreciate you being here, Charles. And I'm going to go with Busher over Suarez. You get a little bit extra PD, similar finishing position potential. I'll go with that. Plus, nobody has been a better finisher than Chris Busher at road courses. For whatever reason, that team just knows how to get a good finish. Collect two as well, Stan. David says, hey, Chris, long shot to win today? Well, I mean, I don't really expect a long shot to win. It's tough because we've never been to Mexico, of course. Let me try to find something above 2,000 that... I mean, Michael McDowell could, but he's 1,500 on the book. Byron's 2,200. If things go his way, he could make his way there, but I'd be lying if I said I had a confident long shot. Blaney looked really good in the second session. If he's on the optimal strategy and not taking stage points, he could certainly put himself in position. If he gets a good restart at the end, if we get a couple of yellows, something crazy happens, and he just, maybe. They have Suarez scripted to win? I don't know. NASCAR tried to get him to lose. It seemed like yesterday they had, he's running away with it, and they threw the yellow for, was it Jesse Love? I mean, we had Christopher Bell parked, and he even got out of his car, and there still was no caution earlier in the race. And then they threw the yellow pretty quick for, I think it was Jesse Love. And I'm pretty sure he drove away, so I'm not really sure why they did that. Thoughts on Allmendinger? I mean, back in the day, I'd be more interested, I think, but so many guys have gotten better at road courses. For $200 more, I can get Elliott with more PD. Not in love with it. Hey, right, says, Chris, I keep disappearing. Do I really? Hope not. Hopefully that's just you. I don't think so. Let's see. How much does racing for stage points affect your builds for finishing position? Well, the thing is, like, I'm pretty heavy on the PD plays, and the guys that I am playing that are expensive, like SVG, Chase Elliott, that aren't starting in the very back, I'm assuming they're going for the race win, so I'm not really concerned about that too much. I mean, Chastain already has a win, so he's in the playoffs. I mean, and all the other expensive guys like Bell and Byron, they have PD. And these cheap plays can do whatever they want. I think by the end they'll shuffle fine. Like Bowman, if he happened to be in a position for stage points, he starts 29th. I don't care. Because he can still finish 18th, and I'd be all right with it. So, I mean, I think Ryan Preece is definitely a candidate for that to potentially happen. But either way, I'm not even playing him in DFS anyway. So it's not too much. It's something to think about, but... What's up, Cody? Debating on Bowman or Wallace and getting another guy like Dinger and Chastain. Don't know how Bowman's going to hold up after the Michigan crash. I think he's still recovering. Yeah, he definitely, he hit really hard. Like, that was a really bad hit. But I'm assuming he's good to go. I mean, I can't really build based off of guessing if he's going to be hurting during the race too much. On paper, he looks good. I mean, 10.8 average finish since last year at the road courses. Overall, very strong numbers. Always in the top 20. I know practice was kind of uninspiring, but if all goes well, minus, of course, hurting himself again, I think he's all right. But I like Chastain over Dinger, personally. De Palma says, we're going with the Suarez sweep. The Mexican army has made it known. Yeah, I think if Tanner Gray... I saw a tweet. Someone said if Tanner Gray turned Daniel Suarez yesterday at the very end, he was going to end up on Live Leak later. So he made a business decision. On DraftKings, SVG, John Hunter, or Hocevar and Busher. I will go with Hocevar and Busher there. Like the more balanced approach. Come on, God says, you weren't afraid of Stenhouse looking for revenge on Hocevar? Well, the thing is, I don't think Stenhouse is ever going to get to Hocevar, so I'm not sure what to worry. Stenhouse starting in the back. Hocevar is about 10 spots further up. Road course, you're not lapping people, so I think we'll be okay. At least you'd hope. But at the same time, people were talking about that a couple years ago with Denny Hamlin and Ross Chastain. Well, you can't play Ross, you can't play Denny. They're going to kill each other, and it never happened. I think maybe like the next year something happened, but you can't play like that. What's up? Hey, which drivers will finish in the top 10 between Reddick, Byron, Dinger, Hocevar, Busher, and Suarez? I mean, based off projections, technically I only have 4 drivers in the top 10, but that's just how a ranking system goes, or simulations, I should say, not a ranking system. But 4 guys in there, and everybody else is kind of just mixed between 10th and 15th. That's how close road courses are. It's just a big mess after you get outside the big favorites. I think the most likely one of that group is probably, well, according to this, I guess Daniel Suarez. Think of that group. But not something I would want to bet on. On FanDuel, would you go Keselowski and Byron or SVG and Zane? Oh, I'd probably have to go Byron and Keselowski there, Bill. Yeah, they made it a 25 max. I've noticed they've done that a few times this year. On FanDuel, I'm just really not playing the bums. I think those are the easiest guys to cross off. I am very heavy on... Like, I don't think I played anyone below... I might have a couple of Gragson shares, but maybe Zane Smith and a few. Other than that, I don't think I have any of these guys, besides the ones I mentioned. And I'm heavy on Blaney, heavy on Gibbs, Hocevar, Bowman, Chastain. Some Buescher, some Suarez on FanDuel. And just heavy on these guys. Basically what my FanDuel builds look like. Still gotta do my hand builds though. Gilliland or Priest? Oh boy, I think Priest projects better actually. Both are very tough DFS plays though. Yeah, I have Priest slightly higher, but I'd have a tough time playing either in DFS. What's up, C-Mitch? Any top 10 starters we should look at for cash lineups? The only ones I would consider in cash, starting inside the top 10, would be SVG or Ty Gibbs. That's basically it, just because of the price point. So SVG or Gibbs. But I think in cash games, because we don't know how this track is going to play out, it could get really dumb. And if it is, you're just going to want to stick with these PD plays. What's up, Scott? GPP single entry, Bell, Byron, Elliott, Gibbs, Hocevar, and Ricky. Yeah, that can work. I like Gibbs and GPPs, like Elliott, Hocevar. Yeah, this looks like a good lineup. For Ricky, you just kind of have to hope that it shuffles the 24th, pretty much, which is possible. Ricky, can SVG just dominate this whole race? I mean, he could. Yeah, at some point, I think we're going to get a different leader. You know, guys got to pit. We got to go down pit road. Maybe something happens in pits and he gets passed. It's possible. I don't think he's going to go away, but if he gets in traffic, you never know. He can get taken out by idiots. We saw that yesterday. Blaney, Bowman, Gibbs, Hocevar, Reddick, SVG. I was going to say I'm surprised that fits, but we also don't have Bell and... I mean, it's a good lineup. Of course, you really have to hope that Bell and Byron die, pretty much. But I don't hate it, Roshan. You can't play them in every lineup. Do I think Reddick will have any speed? I mean, based off of practice, I don't think he's going to be great. I think he can be a borderline top 10 contender just because of how skilled he is at road courses, but I don't think he's going to have like race-winning top-of-the-line speed today. Gragson to the rear. He's already there anyway, I guess, so. But I haven't seen anybody else. Can pull up Bob's Twitter. I don't care if anyone goes to the rear today besides like if SVG went to the rear or Ty Gibbs or something like that, somebody up front. Other than that, I don't really think it matters at all. So yeah, Bob tweeted, only driver to the rear is Gragson for the backup car. So that makes things pretty easy. Yeah, he'll be overlooked, Stump, but I do think it's for a somewhat decent reason. It's based off of that, but like I said, I still have Tyler Reddick. I don't think he's as good of a play as Bell or Byron. Or even Chase. I really like Chase Elliott in GPPs. I say it every road course, but he is going to win eventually. Eventually, he is going to get back in the win column because he has not been bad at road courses by any means. He's been very good at them. Hello, Miss Jules. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, including this amazing dad-to-be. Appreciate that. Happy race day to you as well, and I just heard you walk in, so welcome back into the apartment. What's up, David? Any concern with Bowman's back? I like his road course finishes, but think the back injury might hinder him more than people think. It's possible. It's just not something you can quantify, you know? Just can't quantify it. It's just one of those things you have to go with your, I guess, your gut on it. I don't know how much it's going to affect him. Obviously, he didn't qualify great, didn't practice that great, but at his price point, starting position, he doesn't have to be elite today. He just has to be not Stenhouse. You know what I mean? Do I prefer Bowman or Blaney on FanDuel? I currently have Bowman projecting better. You already have Byron, Gibbs, Bell, and Chastain. Yeah, Bowman would be the other one. And I'm going to be honest, I have that same build going, and I'm deciding if I want to roll with it or not. There's a couple ways you can go because it's a little bit flexible with salary. So we're in the same thought process there, Yancey. It just says cash gameplay. I lost it. Okay. SVG, Bell, Elliott, Busher, Gregson, Nemechek. For me personally, I would want to play Byron and cash games, AJ, with Christopher Bell. I think you just need the two big PD plays, because if Byron finishes 10th today or 7th in cash games, you're probably going to be on the outside looking in. It's going to be hard for him to screw up today unless he just wrecks, which is not something we can expect to happen. So I'd personally try to go Bell, Byron as the starting point. You can still play SVG with them. Probably to take Chase Elliott out. I think Chase Elliott's more of a tournament play. So I'd try to get Byron in. Zane Smith or Keselowski? I have Keselowski predicting a bit better. Feels disgusting because he's like a guarantee to spin several times, but we'll just have to hope that he doesn't spin at the very end. He gets his spins out at the beginning. Looking at how he did road courses since last year. Average running position of 20th, average finish 21st. 3 top 20s, 2 top 15s. If Brad finishes 20th today at $6,600 starting in 30th, I don't think you're too upset. I think you'll take that. Spread says he's playing Ricky, top 20 incoming? Maybe. It's going to be a random shuffle event by the very end. And for those of you that are not used to road courses for DFS purposes, you cannot look at your lineups until after the last pit cycle and the last guy pits in stage 3, because it's going to be, the field's going to flip. Guys are going to be not where they should be, and things are going to look stupid. So you have no idea how you're doing typically until the last pit cycle of stage 3. It's just a fair warning. So don't get too happy, don't get too sad, because you just have no idea. I think Brad K is okay. Is he a good road racer? No, but like I said, he's cheap. He starts in the back. Finish 21st. We'll take it, right? $6,000 best option. I would just play Zane if you have $6,000. How about Bell, Bowman, Elliott, Byron, Gregson, and Priest? I gotta be honest, guys. Priest is such a tough DFS play for me, especially if he ends up going point racing or something. Like it could get ugly quick, starting in second. Very ugly. Projection wise, I mean, I have him like around 21 points, which it's above 3x. I have him finishing 12th, but the floor is just so low. So low on Priest today. You need an absolute perfect race out of Priest. Yeah, I'm not against Nemechek or anything. Any of these guys can work out. Literally any of these guys can work out. Maybe not Barry Jones, but the ones with PD, if they just don't wreck and there's just spins and so a little bit of chaos, Custer could finish 14th randomly. Stenhouse could finish 16th. It's not going to be based off of speed and they're ripping through the field. It's just going to be, did they avoid some carnage? Did they get a nice little reshuffle at the very end? That's all it is. So, like, if your last piece fit is Ricky Stenhouse, I have nothing against you. Same with John Hunter Nemechek. Happy race day to you as well, Sean. Byron or Bell on FanDuel? Thank you as always. I'm going to go with Bell there. A few extra spots. And Bell had one of the better cars in practice. Like, he looked really good. He was actually my, before everything, he was my race winner. And things changed a little bit. Tim says, I'm thinking this is a good race to fade all DOMs on DraftKings. Thoughts? I mean, yeah, it's okay. The only one I have interest in is like SVG, Chastain, and Gibbs. Everybody else up front's kind of tough to get to. But I still think you need some shares of SVG. But if you're doing like a single entry and you want to get away from him, I mean, I'm fine with that. It's not like anybody can rack up 100 points today because they led a lot of laps. Like if SVG leads 65 laps today but finishes 12th, 15th, I mean, you're not going to want him in your lineup. Someone moves him out of the way into the grass or a penalty. Who knows? Thoughts on Buescher for DraftKings? He's fine. He's in that range with Bowman, Blaney, where they're solid. GPP, large field must plays. I'm not sure there's a must play, Amy. But just to get off some of the chalk, I do like Chase Elliott. I do like Ty Gibbs. I think Blaney's a fine tournament play as well. Carson Hocevar. Guys I'm getting to. I don't think there's a must play, though. Thoughts on Cindric and Stenhouse? I don't even have it. I just don't really have any thoughts on them. Stenhouse, he's there. He might finish 26th. That can work. He might not. He might run 34th all day. Cindric, I mean, he's a fine road racer, for sure. He's like the same thing as Chase Briscoe. I got to a little bit of him. I think he ended up around 15, 16% of my builds in MME, but I will not be putting him in my single entry hand builds. And Chance Horns wins this race in Mexico City. I mean, he won yesterday, but I think he got his win out of the way for the weekend. All right, Logan asks, favorite one driver, 7,500 and down on DraftKings. Thanks, Chris. Helped me with my fantasy NASCAR league in third so far. Let's get the W. Awesome, Logan. Let's keep pushing to first. So one driver, 7,500 and below. I mean, I like the first three there. I like Hocevar, I like Gibbs, I like Ryan Blaney. Projection-wise, I believe Hocevar is first of that group, but they're all in line projection-wise as well. So very tough. I like all three though. Any love on Josh Berry? Not personally. If he was starting further back, maybe, but I can't do it for where he's starting. McDowell, thoughts on DraftKings? A guy that's not really projecting too well. I think he can kind of hang around the top 10 all day. Wish he was a little bit cheaper. Wish he was starting further back, personally. Thank you, Obi. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. BK and Blaney or Gregson and Hocevar? I'm going to go with BK and Blaney there. And yes, Zane Smith is viable, Ryan. I have no issue with that. G Money says no left for Truex and a DraftKings single. He's just so slow. That's all it is. He was like one of the absolute worst cars in practice. And obviously he was terrible in qualifying too. Like there is nothing here that says he's going to get there on speed. If there's chaos, yes, and he's not in it, sure. But there's just nothing here that indicates he has any speed. Do I have picks? Oh, sniper, get out of here. You know the answer. Can I rank Briscoe, Blaney, and Hocevar? It's going to be in the opposite order of what you asked me, King. Just flip it around. Keep Blaney in the same spot and flip Hocevar and Briscoe. Bowman or Gibbs on DraftKings. If it's cash games, I'm going to say Bowman Ellis. If it's a tournament, I'm going to say Gibbs. Thoughts on Larson? He's like a slightly worse version of Chase Elliott, in my opinion, today. I have an optimal rate for him on both sides. I believe is around 25% for Kyle Larson. So, who am I overweight on? Who is showing positive leverage? Yeah, the guys I'm overweight on for tournaments: Chase Elliott, Chastain, Gibbs, Hocevar, Blaney. I think that nails most of them. Of course, there's a few others. No problem at all, Logan. No problem at all, Ellis. Matthew says Solly Gregson is... I did hear he was sick, Gregson, but I mean, he wrecks every week, so I'm not sure that's going to be any different. But yeah, if I did hear that Gregson was sick, though. Elliott or Logano will win today? I hope it's Chase. I really hope it's not Logano. 6,200 left on DraftKings, says Astro. Projection-wise, it's Gregson and Zane. I believe. It would be Gregson. No problem at all, Amy. Good luck to you as well. Which two of the top 3 drivers by salary would you pick for single entry GPP? So 2 of the 3. Which 2 of the top 3 drivers by salary? Between SVG, Bell, and Larson? Maybe Bell, SVG. That's what you mean. Is Kyle Busch worth it in tournaments? I didn't really get there. He could also points race. He's good in road courses. Solid. Not elite, but he's in a weird spot. 11th, almost $9,000. Just very tough to get to. John and Nemechek and Byron are Bowman Hocevar on DraftKings for a GPP. Oh boy. Oh, well, it deleted as I was reading it. So I guess you didn't want it answered. Steve says, I also have a lot of Elliott, so hopefully we're right on him. I hope so. I hope so. Bobby asked if we are liking AJ for a -110 for a top 10 today. I'm going to say probably not. I have Dinger at +120. So, I mean, of course it could be worse. But yeah, no problem at all, Dave. I think I got through all the questions. I figured it'd be a bit of a smaller stream today, Father's Day. I know you guys all have lives and stuff to do. I still have to build my hand builds. We got about 30 minutes, 50 minutes, depending on what site you're on, until lock. So I'm probably going to get out of here. I forget which race is up next week. I'm going to look really quick. I hope it's a good one. I feel like, yeah, Pocono. Pocono should be fun, I think, in the next gen car. So I'm looking forward to that. I think, didn't Blaney win the last one last year? So hopefully we can go back to back on that. But appreciate y'all being here. I wish you all the best. Happy Father's Day to anybody that applies to. And enjoy the race today. I'm hoping it's fun.